vague prompt went in, and out came a trained model. OpenAI says its system did it alone. When it looks like magic, how do you tell what really happened? This is the Agentic Daily Brief. Start with the loudest thing that landed overnight. Apple is suing OpenAI. The suit, filed in San Jose, claims OpenAI systematically poached Apple engineers and then, here's the sharp part, coaxed them to walk out the door with confidential hardware prototypes, design files, parts, supplier details, all of it, to help build OpenAI's own AI device. That device push runs through IO Products, the hardware startup OpenAI acquired. One engineer allegedly kept his Apple laptop and used a login bug to pull down dozens of secret hardware files. Apple says more than 400 of its former people now work at OpenAI, and that OpenAI even went knocking on its suppliers. Lawyers are calling it the biggest trade secret fight the Valley has seen since Waymo took on Uber. None of it's proven yet, but the sheer scale of the claim is the story. Two more quickly. Meta yanked a new AI image tool this week, the one that let people edit other users' Instagram posts after days of public blowback over consent. Shipped it, pulled it, inside a week. That's how fast the pushback moved. Then a darker one. Researchers interviewing defectors found extremist groups have pushed AI past propaganda into real battlefield tactics. In one documented case, working out how to modify motorcycles to clear a trench around a base. The guardrails held for the obvious questions. People just talk their way around them anyway. Okay, back to that machine that trained a model on its own, because that's the story I keep chewing on. Here's what OpenAI actually said. Their newest system, call it Sol, the flagship of the new GPT-5.6 family, got a single prompt. In their own words, a fairly underspecified one, handed to it through their coding tool. And from that, it post-trained a smaller model called Luna, picked the training settings, chose the chips, launched the run, checked that it worked. The whole loop, no human standing over it. Which sounds like exactly the thing we've all been bracing for, right? An AI that builds the next AI. But then, one of OpenAI's own people added the detail that changes the whole flavor of it. The recipe already existed. The pipeline, the settings, the launch, the checking, that groundwork was already built, and it already worked. Sol's real job was adapting a proven recipe to a new model. And their own estimate for that same work, done by hand, 2 researchers, about 2 weeks. So sit with that number for a second. 2 researcher weeks. I mean, that's a genuinely useful speed up. I'm not waving it away. But it's a very different animal from a machine dreaming up how to train a model from nothing. And the distinction isn't pedantic. If you can't tell the agents part from the groundworks part, you can't size what these systems can really do on their own. And that's the exact number that decides how much rope anyone should give them. Before you call a result autonomous, separate what the agent did alone from what was already built for it. That difference, not the demo, is the real capability. To their credit, OpenAI's own system card backs that caution. They didn't measure this on demo puzzles. They measured it on real work, like debugging 41 actual internal research bugs. Push Sol onto the harder engineering tasks, though, and it, well, their words, collapsed to narrow, brittle strategies. They rate it below their own bar for genuine self-improvement. So the honest read isn't, it's happening. It's smaller and truer. An agent ran a proven pipeline faster than 2 humans could. Real. Bounded. Not the headline. That gap, between what looks autonomous and what actually is, it shows up a lot closer to your own desk too.
Geoffrey Litt wrote something last week that stuck with me.
The argument goes like this. Agents now write code, and check their own code, faster than any human can read it. So the old question, does this actually work? That's more or less solved. The new bottleneck is quieter. do you understand what got shipped well enough to keep building on it? His own line. You need a rich set of concepts in your head to think creatively about where to take something next. Lose that fluency, and your power to push the project forward quietly shrinks. He gives it a name, borrowed from research: cognitive debt. Picture the credit card version of tech debt. You can skip understanding what the agent wrote, ship it, feel fast, and for a while, nothing breaks. But it compounds, quietly, until, in his phrase, the humans on the project have simply lost the plot. You can't debug, operate, or extend a system nobody on the team understands anymore. His fix is the part I keep coming back to. Make the agent build your understanding, not just your code. Have it write you an explainer, one that leads with the intuition, not the syntax. Little scrubbable simulations, so you can step through what the program is actually doing. And then, at the end, a quiz. A real one. His rule? He won't ship code to other people until he can pass the quiz on his own change. I love that as a gut check. The quiz is a speed regulator. If you can't pass it, you're moving faster than you understand, and that is the moment to stop. Now, the fair limit here. This is one person's workflow, not a measured study. The new bottleneck is real, or rather, it moved, it didn't vanish. And the explainer and the quiz are themselves written by the agent, so they can be confidently wrong in exactly the way the code can. It's a discipline, not a proof. As a habit, though, I'd take it. It lands on a bigger, uglier signal worth saying out loud. There's a talk making the rounds. Dex Horthy, harness engineering is not enough, with a claim that should stop you cold. Since teams picked up AI coding tools, he says, review quality has dropped and bugs per developer have gone up. That nagging sense that software feels flakier lately? This is his answer for why. Agents optimize for, does it run? Do the tests pass? While real code bases rot slowly. Architectural drift nobody's tracking, until no one quite knows what's shipping. And his fix isn't more agents, or waiting on some smarter future model. It's turning the lights back on. Humans reading their own code, owning the whole system. Worth the watch. So, one thing to try this week. Take the last real chunk of code an agent wrote for you. Don't just confirm it runs. Ask the agent to write you a short explainer of it. Then have it quiz you on your own codebase. If you flunk your own project, there's your signal. Slow down right there before it compounds. One question I genuinely love answers to. If you've caught yourself shipping something you couldn't really explain, what was the moment you noticed? Reply and tell me. I read every single one. All right, back to where we started. A vague prompt, a model trained, no human in the loop, and it looked like magic. But the real work was a pipeline someone built months ago, and the honest measure was 2 people, 2 weeks. The whole game, every time, is telling what the machine did from what was already done for it. A training run at a frontier lab, or the code sitting in your own branch tonight. Same question, and it's worth asking out loud. That's today's Agentic Daily Brief. Brought to you by Agent Native Engineering. Open knowledge for building and running AI agents. The full write-ups, with their sources, are at agentnativeengineering.com. See you next time.